The Cuyahoga County Committee of the Whole meeting for Tuesday, July 30th, 2024 is now called to order. Andrea, would you please call the roll?
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2:35 p.m., and as a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Conwell. Ms. Conwell is absent at the moment. Ms. Turner.
Here.
Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Mr. Byrne.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Schron.
Yes. Here.
Council President Jones.
Here.
You have a
All
quorum.
right, thank you, Andrea. Has anyone signed in for public comment?
Yes.
All right.
Felicia. Felicia, is the green light on that? Okay. And then speak directly into the microphone. You might want to position it a little bit lower. Thank you. No.
Okay.
Long horizontal button. There we go.
Alrighty. Good afternoon. My name is Felicia, and thank you for coming and listening to my comments. I'm just following up on a comment or an issue that we talked about before, earlier part of this month. I'm residing at 2227 Payne Avenue. And so I was piggybacking off of Lou's comments about the mail theft issue at the address that I'm residing at. And the priority mail is being dispersed by calling the residents' names down to the lobby to receive their mail, and they have to sign for it. It's going on every day now. But well, before it was like every other day or so.
Thank you.
So they've increased that. And the regular mail, since I've been here since the last meeting, I have not heard anyone call down for residents to receive their regular mail. But I have seen the mail carrier deliver the mail 3 times since the last meeting when we were here before, all different times. So there may be an issue where the mail's not being delivered every single day, possibly. But in order to receive your regular mail, you have to request the staff to go in and look through the mail and give you your mail. It's not something that they do every day. It's not like priority mail. Priority mail is dispersed every day. And like I said, I received mail there late, but I haven't been told that I had any mail since then, and I haven't inquired about whether or not I've had mail since then. And also, the issue about the mail there is hush-hush. Nobody wants to discuss it. And I ran into some issues, some nitpicky issues, upon talking and discussing the issue about the mail. So I don't feel comfortable discussing the issue about the mail anymore. And when I was first invited, I really wanted to focus in on Medicaid and everything like that, reforming Medicaid and talking about, oh, is my time up?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well,
You
that's
can
my
follow
public
up.
comment.
Yeah, I think maybe you might want to follow up with our staff. If
Okay.
there's anything additional we could do to help.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Lou?
I wasn't prepared to speak first.
Good evening.
Evening.
Nice to see all of you, friendly faces. Unlike my situation or Felicia's situations, when you want to ask questions or try to even give us suggestions, what you get mostly is retaliations at 2227 Payne Avenue. Felicia is very nice and very polite. You can see that. She did not even use the word directly. Now, mail issue is not the only thing which will cause retaliation, or coming here to talk about mailing issue is not the only thing. A few weeks back, I did mention a new retaliation incident I have, which somebody asked me a question after the meeting. So let me get that story straightened out. Some of you, some of the council members here, you may remember the name Connie Grayers, who could deny people to eat their own food, kept in the refrigerator, in the kitchenette, by doctor's orders. She has been starving me, denying me the lay plate, maybe the only meal I would receive at the 2227 Payne Avenue. So the incident a few weeks ago, when I mentioned it here, it was different. This time it's not directly food related, it's not mail related. The issue is about a normal routine procedures we have called bad check. You know, because HUD does require MHIS. You have to shelter, you have to have a records. How many people staying at night, who are here, who are not here, those kind of things. So you know that's a routine. YWCA did adjust the time to do bad check in order to fit the reality. However, how the steps actually work on this particular procedure, let's see how Connie Greer does it to me. She did a bad check before the new time, 1:30 a.m. But since I have a night work, I work at night. I came in before 1:30, but that was after she actually did the bad check. That's why while I was there waiting, I even helped another, I would call cellmate in the basement. Her name is Polly. I helped her to resolve her cell phone issues. Still, I did not see this particular lady, Connie Greer, coming out to do bad check. So eventually, I waited for over an hour. I had to ask her, have you done the bad check? Have you counted me in? She said she did it. I was not there when she did it. And she did it twice. Here is how the argument started, because I said, I have been here the whole time. I came in, maybe it's 1:20, 1:22. I waited, but there's nothing. So this is how people work there. Thank you.
Will Tarter?
Thank you, Council President. All right, good afternoon, President Jones, members of County Council. My name is Will Tarter, and I rise today to urge County Council not to permanently adopt the 20-person lottery system for public comment. As a reminder, I'm speaking today as a private citizen, not representative of my employer. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Council President Jones and members of Council for holding the legislation in the Committee on the Whole. I apologize for not being able to attend any meetings recently due to illness. Over the past few weeks, I have spoken to past and current elected officials who tell me that some of the best ideas have come from public comments, and sometimes learned of issues that were not even on their radar. My concerns with a 20-person lottery are threefold. Number one, as we've seen in previous meetings, there are some public commenters that speak at general body meetings who do not have the ability to make their public comment during the workday at committee meetings. Sometimes these are members of the general public, and sometimes these can be county employees. For example, I'm reminded of the JFS workers and the corrections officers who spoke a few years ago. Comments like these are enshrined in the video archive for other members of the public to listen to and reference later, just in case they themselves are not able to attend the meeting. This accessibility is what is different from providing a written public comment or emailing council directly. With the lottery system, the public risks losing out on hearing the testimonials of our fellow citizens or county employees if they wish to address county council at the general body meetings, just because they were not randomly chosen, and that's not right. Addressing the general body also means that all of council is present, which is not usually the case during committee meetings that are held during the day. This 20-person lottery system is also out of alignment from other major counties across the state. On my own time, I put together a collection of how other major counties address this issue. As you can see in the handout that you all have received, these counties either allow 2 or 3 minutes of comments per person. Number 3, sometimes a legislative item is heard in the committee on the whole and then voted on at the next general body meeting, which occurs immediately after. That does not leave much time to raise awareness about issues raised during the testimony portion of the committee on the whole that can then be addressed before they are voted on in the general body meeting. Having a lottery system reduces the possibility of providing valuable feedback in real time from the public based on the testimony that may have been provided during the committee of the whole. I recognize that County Council has concerns with the current format and its impact on council meetings. I would like to offer an alternative, one that protects accessibility for the public while being mindful of council's concerns of the present structure. At the beginning of county council meetings, the clerk tallies and announces the number of public comment forms submitted. If the number of public comment forms is greater than 30, public comment time is limited to 2 minutes per speaker. If it is 29 or less, public comment is 3 minutes per speaker.
No, Angia, let him continue. I want you to hear.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'll finish this thought. If the number of public comments is 29 or less, the public comment time is 3 minutes per speaker. It's that simple, and I emailed the draft language to County Council last week. Ultimately, I hope that County Council will talk about this more in recess and at least consider this proposal and others during a public meeting before making any permanent decisions. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to provide this public comment.
Anyone else signed in?
That concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
Okay, thank you. At this time, item referred to committee.
Resolution 2024-0266, amending Rule 17 of the Cuyahoga County Rules of Council to establish additional guidelines and procedures for public comment at council and committee meetings.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, committee members, Michael King, council staff. Again, this resolution before you today is an amendment to Rule 17C of the council rules to make permanent changes to the public comment procedures for council and committee meetings. This committee had a healthy discussion at the last meeting, and several ideas were raised for potential amendments at that meeting. Since then, several of these amendments were prepared and distributed on behalf of individual council members as proposed substitutes, copies of which are in front of you. In addition, as I mentioned at the last meeting, a technical amendment was drafted in consultation with the law department and has also been distributed in your packet. It appears as amendment number 5. For the purposes of today's meeting, I'd recommend that the committee take time to consider each of the proposed amendments on its own merits. And if multiple amendments are approved, I'll work with our law director to combine and reconcile those. We agree that none of them are really in conflict with one another, but some of them amend some of the same language. And so just trying to reconcile all of that into a finished product. Once that happens, we can bring a final proposed substitute to council prior to final passage. So I'll let each sponsor speak on behalf of their own amendments, but I'm of course available for any questions if necessary. And with that, I'll turn it back to the council president.
All right, thank you, Mike. So as we see, we have the legislation before us, the resolution. It has multiple sponsors as is, but we have gotten, again, as Mike has said, amendments from our colleagues, from a handful of colleagues. And we have 4, I will hear from those who want to present their proposed substitutes. Although the staff has been working with them, we will see those who have, after having done that work, desire to introduce proposed substitutes. So at this time, I'll turn it over to council if you have any questions or if you have any proposed substitutes you'd like to introduce.
I'll try one.
Okay, Councilman Sweeney, you can go first.
Thank you. Just propose a substitute 2024-2054, amending the resolution. Oh no, that's a variety theater. We will leave that one alone. I have 2 amendments that are on there. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. One is the making sure it's mandatory that each council member gets the public comment in our email, so it gives me opportunity to read it and I don't have to go look for it. And the number 2 is through the president to our Outstanding Esquire. Right now, it's silent on if council members can talk to or respond to the constituents that come up during public comment. Amendment number 1. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Got it. It's amendment number 1 and 2. 2066. And number 1 and 2. And the other one is, I'd like my colleagues to consider us having the opportunity to talk to the constituents when they do come up. So plain and simple. And I'd ask Mike, and if it's, I'm making a motion to have these amendments accepted.
All right, well, let's deal with them one at a time. You introduced one. Did you consider this amendment number 1 in your 2, where written testimony shall be distributed to all members of the council or the committee to which it is submitted?
Yes, that's number 1.
Okay, so why don't we just stay there for a moment? So if I understand what you're saying, you would like those who have given public comment, if they have something in writing, you would like it to be distributed to all 11 council members.
Yes. It's a simple one, I think.
What is that? Any comments, questions? Councilman?
Mike, do we not place written testimony into the public record?
To the councilman through the president. The written testimony becomes part of the public record. This would just basically require that it be distributed affirmatively to the members of council, but it would be kept on file by the clerk as part of the record of the meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Councilman Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. President. To